Hey, wanted to make this real quick. There we go. Sorry, I'm dropping off order for somebody. Got a bit of a drive back. Anyway, I've proposed ideas for constitutional amendments like repealing the 11th Amendment, which literally was made just to take away a right of all citizens and to strengthen government. And you have states like, I believe it's New Mexico, abuses it and lies about what it says to say their own citizens can't even hold the state accountable, which, no, it's not what it says at all. And really, technically, you shouldn't be able to hold your state accountable if they cite you with a ticket for speeding. You shouldn't be able to contest it based on the 11th Amendment, technically speaking, if you wanted to stretch it out. Anyway, whatever. There is an amendment, I don't remember which one it is. I get a few of them mixed up. I don't remember which one it is, but there's one that made it where citizens vote directly for senators. It's no longer the state government chooses the senators. I think we should make it where the state government does choose the senators again, because we are overly saturated. They have too many constituents to answer to. Representatives do. And it was supposed to be a way for the states to have representation on a federal level. That was the point of the Senate. You just made glorified representatives that serve a longer term. There's no point in having two separate houses or chambers in the Senate or in Congress. If we're just going to vote for them either way, they're basically just statewide representatives for all districts. And if you're in a state where you only have one representative, then you effectively just have three representatives, and one of them gets a term that's a third the length of all the others, or the other two. Anyway, I think we should maybe bring back the states choosing the senators, but this would have to be done by constitutional amendment. Limit it to, first off, have term limits for all members of Congress, period. I have my thoughts on that. Either they have to be a representative, someone who has served 6 years in the House of Representatives in Congress already. Your options are them. Excuse me. And I believe representatives should be limited. Let me clarify. I believe there should be a limit to, you can serve up to 12 years in Congress. After 6 years in the House of Representatives, you qualify to serve in the Senate. You are just riding up on my back onto there, buddy. You're just eager to put your foot on the gas. Anyway, just serve that and you qualify. Otherwise, you must be, and I think you should have to be natural born to your state to be a representative or a senator, all that jazz. If your parents live in that state but they're out of state at the time, due to like they're on vacation or what have you, or they're visiting family, whatever, or they're just went on a business trip, whatever, and had you, so long as you lived in the state within your first 6 months of life or year, then it would count. Anyway, and have time, you have to have lived there the past few years like you do with the president. Either so you're a representative, or your choice is them and lawyers and judges that are also natural born to the state. Possibly just outright, hey, you can only serve in either the House or the Senate could be an option, and have a max of 10 years in the House and 12 years in the Senate. So 5 2-year terms in the House and 2 6-year terms in the Senate could be an option. But if you're going to do that, the only people who should be able to be elected by the state for serving in the Senate should have to be exclusively lawyers and judges. The people who are the final bastion of upholding the constitutional rights of citizens, flooding the Senate would be a pretty good check on bills getting through. It would take 4 years to flood out people to where you could have the majority of the Senate like that. But after 6 years, definitely, I think a lot of bills would just be getting stopped unless the House got its crap together, because the Senate would be proposing stuff. In theory, they would be proposing stuff that's very Constitution friendly. And, dude, what are you doing? Is your car stalled? There's just a car in the lane. That's nice. And this is why, and I think they're on their phone, there are laws about that. But anyway, just do that. Just fix the Senate. It would be easier to fix the Senate than to fix the House, to be honest. If you could fix the Senate, it would make fixing the House easier. And ensure that, oh, okay, cool, it's someone who went to law school. If you're in Tennessee, in order to become a lawyer, there's criteria you have to meet to be a judge and all that. So, just judges are elected here. Or to my knowledge, judges are all elected here, so I think they can be appointed. But, it's oh, okay, someone who's elected by the people is your option for who can represent you as a state, and it's someone who is one of the chief defenders of supposed to be one of the chief defenders of the Constitution. That, I think, would be our best bet of getting a lot of federal laws that are violations of the Constitution acknowledged as violations of the Constitution, and thus not legally binding, and get those dealt with. So yeah, this was supposed to be a short, but I'd like everyone's thoughts on that.